Hey KD, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you today?
I am good. I'm so glad it's Friday.
I
Like,
know, I know it's good. We're beginning the weekend. Looking forward to having a good weekend. I hope you're going to do the same.
I'm,
So I'm excited that we're here on the weekend as well.
Me too. I'm excited to have you here with me. I know we've talked about this for about a month now. So
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for this interview.
me too. Me too. I'm excited. So I want people to get to know a little about you personally, but also what you do in your professional world.
Okay.
So can you tell us a little bit about KD? And also tell me, what does KD stand for?
Well, like I said, Katie is kind of a moniker I've taken, but it's literally just the initials of my name. My real name is Kevin Davis, so Katie. That's where Katie comes from. I was born and raised in the city of Atlanta, although I live in Arizona right now. Kirkwood, Zone 6. You know what I mean? That's my home. I moved out to Arizona. Actually, I moved out here with the corporate world. I was actually working for a mortgage company. I still do that now. Presently, I'm an underwriter for a mortgage company. So that was something that I actually took a chance and moved out here in Arizona, and I've been here now for about 16 years.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you've been gone for a long time. That means
Yeah, well, I mean, I say that I'm gone, but I'm always home. I still have family in Atlanta, so I come back quite a bit. I'm usually there a lot during football season because I actually go to a couple of Falcons games a year, with my family. So you know what I mean. I am a avid Atlanta fan. No matter where I am, no matter where I'm living, I am still Atlanta to the heart. So despite how all of our teams usually break our hearts, I'm still an Atlanta fan.
they do break our hearts. It's so sad. It's like, and the crazy thing is the company that I work for, we're connected. So I can't say much. But
Okay, but
I'm always rooting for them, and then all of a sudden it's like, come on now. But
I know, but
yeah.
yeah. So that's like I said, I'm born and raised in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I've chosen to jump into the profession of music at this point in time, and I've actually been in and around music for quite some time. This is actually me making a comeback to music after 20 years.
Really?
I started in music when I was at the tender age of 18. I was actually in a singing group when I was in college, and me and that group actually did a lot of touring for a little while. We were getting courted by some of the major names that are in music right now, by P Diddy, Dre, or Dr. Dre, I should say. Some people that that worked, like what Puff actually worked for, and Andre Harrell. Jeff Finster, who used to be the senior vice president of Jive Records, actually came to my house to hear us sing. So I mean, we were doing pretty well. Like we were actually well loved by quite a few people. But of course, I got had a family, started having children at a very early age. So that kind of ripped me away from my dream of music. Um, I am a father of 6 children. My oldest right now is 28 years old. I have twin daughters that are 27. Oh, I have a call coming in. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
That's okay.
Amazing. Sorry for that. But I think I was in the reference of talking about my children at the time. I have a 28-year-old son. I have 27-year-old daughters. I have a 13-year-old. I have a son that will be turning 12 on Sunday, and I have a 3-year-old. So I have children in 3 different decades.
That's amazing though. Children are a blessing. So
Yes, they are. I mean, they keep me feeling young. They keep me on the go. So I mean, I have amazing relationships with them. So I really I love it. I love that as part of being a part of my life. And honestly, that was one of the things that kind of led me back to music, because I talk to my children a lot, about chasing their dreams and being able to lock in on what's important as I've gotten older and understand what life really means.
Mhm.
So that was one of the things that brought me back to music. I felt like it was hard for me to look my children in the face and tell them to chase their dreams when I kind of gave up on mine.
I completely agree. I agree. And I understand leaving the music industry. Back then, it was a little different. So I love the fact that you spoke on they came to your house to hear you sing, because I remember Mary J saying the same thing.
Right,
But
right.
that means that they really heard something in your voice that they knew would take you far. So I'm glad that you found your way back.
I did. I'm so happy about it. Like it's always been a part of my life.
Mhm.
Music is always, I feel like excuse me, I feel like music is something that that helps you really deal with things emotionally, because there, like for every emotion that you have, there's always a song for it, whether you're upset, whether you're sad, whether you're happy, whether you're energetic and you want to party, like there's always a song for whatever, emotion that you're feeling at the time. So, and I feel like that's one of the things that you can really touch somebody's soul with a song.
I agree. I agree. And it's different. And I guess because I'm a female. So it's different when you hear a man sing. So we love our Tony Braxtons, our Mariah Careys, our Mary J's. And then what is the new girl's name? Ours, the one that
Oh,
sings.
Money Long. Her voice is amazing.
Yes, the girl can sing.
Yes, she can. Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
But it's different when we hear our Luthers and our
Oh,
Frank Jacksons. Yes, and our Tyrese's.
yes. And our Stevie Wonders. You can't leave out Stevie. Like I feel like Stevie Wonder, if we want to go old school, Freddie Jackson, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those guys, like I kind of wanted to bring myself back into that realm, like him, Gerald Levert, you know,
man.
so many people that so many amazing vocalists that we came through.
Oh yeah, you are absolutely correct. And it's so funny because that you mentioned Stevie. So I grew up on Stevie. My father, my mother, they're like
Yeah,
music heads. So we all would walk around the house singing and things like that. So yeah, Stevie is the man.
yeah.
Now, I want to know, so you were in college. What did you go to college for?
Believe it or not, I was taking a Juris Doctorate program at I was going to school to be an attorney, actually.
Look at
Yeah, I
you.
was actually going to school to be an attorney. I was at Barber Scotia College in Concord, North Carolina. And literally, I mean, I can't even tell you, like, I never, like, I thought that was everything that I was going to be doing. And I literally met four of the guys that sang while I was in college. And we started, and they actually had a group prior to me, and I just became friends with them, and I ended up singing with them. But I can only tell you, like, we performed at a talent show at our school once at Barber Scotia and did really well.
Mhm.
And we performed a talent show at UNC Charlotte once. UNC Charlotte had a huge talent show. I mean, we went up there and did a great job at the talent show. And from that day, I was like literally bit by the bug of music. Like, I mean, well, I can't say that I wasn't bit by the bug prior to then, because like music has a strong history in my family as well. My mother was my mother went to school and she majored in music. She actually taught music in high school. My mom was I want to say my mom was like a musical genius. She literally could play every instrument that was ever made. Um, and my dad also was a gospel singer. Benny Davis and the Davis Singers from Atlanta as well. Like they sung in Atlanta as well.
Mm.
And my dad also went on to he moved to North Carolina, and he also went on to be a gospel DJ at the radio station at one of the at Power 98 in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I've been involved and around music literally all of my life. You know what I mean? I played drums in church. I did the whole nine. So
Okay, church boy.
Yeah. I come from one of those families where your grandparents had you performing at a very young age. That type of family. At all the Thanksgiving and all the holiday dinners and stuff, all the kids had to perform. Like,
Listen, your life sounds like mine because I started choir in 6th grade and I didn't leave until I was in until I graduated. But I was in a girl group, and then we added some guys in high school.
mhm.
And then my mom made us sing. Oh my God, we used to sing at missions and everything. So
Yeah.
I know your life.
Yeah, I mean, but and the crazy part of it is I wasn't always the singer. Believe it or not, I wasn't always the singer. I did a lot of performances. I was the kind of kid, I would say that I kind of progressed early as a kid. Like I literally at 4 years old, 5 years old, in our school plays, I would be the narrators of the play. I literally be sitting there reading at 4 or 5 years old and narrating a play in front of all of the people, everybody's families and things like that. But I never really took an interest in singing. Of course, we sang or in the shower or just sang our favorite songs. But it wasn't until I really got to college that I really found myself being in love with it. And I literally started out, even in the group that I was in, I started out as just one of the guys in the background, but I fell in love with it so much that I literally, even on my own time, I started practicing for like 2 hours a day by myself without the group, because I wanted to get to a point where I would be one of the lead singers of the group and be able to take, part of, and be more of a force to help the group be even better. So I literally would get up every day, grabbing the remote and turning on like maybe I think I would go through like 8 or 9 songs every day for like 2 hours. Like I sang Jodeci, Boys to Men at that time, Gerald Levert at that time, Luther Vandross. I sung like everybody, I think. You know what I mean? Just to kind of develop my own style.
Look at you. So I've heard your style. Do you mind singing?
No, I don't mind singing at all.
Okay. Can
You
you
want me to
sing?
sing something?
Yeah.
I was thinking of what I kind of figured that I was going to sing something for you, but so I'll do something from Stevie Wonder because he's literally like my favorite artist. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute. Oh, just a little something. You know what I mean?
I love that. Guess what?
Yes.
That's funny you saying that. My father used to tell me, the baby that would cry in the beginning of the song?
Yes, yes.
All my life, I thought that was me because he used to lie too.
Oh man, like I feel like, when I listen to Stevie Wonder, I feel like he's one of the most amazing artists, because if you really think about him in his entirety, that, the song and the song structures that he's written, and the fact that he's never seen any of it. You know what I mean? If you really listen to the detail in which he writes songs, like A Ribbon in the Sky, like, I mean, just to think of that, you know what I mean? Being that you haven't really seen any of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think like him and Ray Charles are some of my favorite artists when you think about the songs that they've written and how they come across and how those songs have lasted forever.
No, you are absolutely right. They are very talented, but it's really funny when you lose one of your faculties, then you gain something extra.
Right.
So that ability to write and hear things that other people can't hear, that
Exactly.
be composed, that's where they get that from.
That's what I love about them. Like those are two of my favorite artists.
That's amazing. So something else I want to touch on.
Okay.
You mentioned that, well, not you mentioned, I mentioned that I want to share it with everybody. You like to send affirmation or positive messages to individuals. Where did you get that from? What made you start doing that?
Oh man, like honestly, I felt like to be totally honest with you, for me, it was a message from God. I literally, a lot of times I send those affirmations out, you know, like most ministers will say that you'll hear the Baptist church, like, I'm preaching to you while I'm ministering to myself. You know what I mean? Because I felt like some of those are some of the things that I needed to hear. And it really started off as, you know, even my whole journey, even getting back into music was something that I prayed about. You know what I mean? Because I'm not really a young person. Like, I'm entering the music game again right now at 48 years old. Okay. So, you know, I knew that people will probably think I'm crazy and think that, you know, all of these things, but I felt like I could do my part in changing the world through music. You know, and it was something that I really prayed about. And God really came over me one night to the point that I was even sitting here in my own house alone. And I was even in tears because it was just so many things that he was revealing to me in that moment. And I literally start sending the messages out to just my friends. I started sending those messages out to my friends and like all of my loved ones every day. And I was sending it through Instagram. And one day God told me, he said, I want you to scroll through the alphabet and just send it to everybody's name that pop up. So I literally started doing that every day. And as I started doing that, I started getting responses from people. You know, I started getting responses to where people were actually telling me like divulging things about their lives. And like, here I am, a person that like we've never seen each other face to face or anything. And I felt like I was literally, you know, counseling them through situations or things that they were going on and through their lives. And I honestly have built some, like, case in point, this is how our relationship came about. You know what I mean? So, I like, for some reason, and literally, you know, like, as I started hearing those confirmations from God myself, like, I will say that I haven't always been the most confident person in life. But as I started getting those confirmations that God was telling me that, you know, with me being faithful to him and believing in him and trusting in him with everything, that he gave me an ultimate confidence about everything that I start doing from that point forward. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I just started doing that. I had the ultimate confidence in life. I don't really worry about anything at this point because I feel like, you know, anything that happens at this point in time in my life is either a lesson or a blessing. You know what I mean? So, well, that was one of the things that I did. And I literally used to it got to a point that I was sending that message out to probably 700 people every morning.
Whoa.
Right. So it literally took me probably 2.5 to 3 hours out of my morning every day because, of course, Instagram is not set up like, and I've never wanted to send it as like a group text because everybody didn't know each other.
Oh,
So
we going off on you.
right, exactly. So I literally took the time to click everybody's name individually every time I sent that message out. So, and I feel bad now because I haven't done it in a while, only because everything with music has picked up so much, and I really try to spend a lot of time doing that. And it was just really like me finding the 2.5 hours in my day to be able to send it out. And like, because I sent a message out at one point in time to say, hey, you know, based on how everything was going, it was hard for me to send it out individually. So, and I never did it in a situation where I wanted people to follow me because I never really asked, you know, people on Instagram to follow me because that wasn't the intention of what I was doing. Like, I just felt like we see, you know, social media is used in such a way that we always see so much negativity on social media that I felt that it would be good to help people start their day with something positive coming from somebody on social media. You know what I mean? So that was really like, I felt like it was a call to action. It was something that would keep people motivated. And also it was one of those things where I was really even willing to bare my soul as I knew that I was entering music to tell people like, hey, like, your dreams can still be obtained no matter what you're doing right now. Even if you only focus on it, like, my biggest thing is that I'm not in any rush. I feel like if you're not giving your dream any amount of time right now, even if you start to give it 30 minutes a day, maybe you're not going to be there on a jet plane. Maybe you're going to be walking, but if you're, you know what I mean, it's either jet, train, bus, walking, bike, whatever, like, but as long as I feel like if you learn your purpose and you walk in that direction or you move in that direction a little bit every day, eventually you're going to get there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I wanted that to be something that I could share with people, like just that determination of how determined I was. And hopefully that will spawn people to kind of do, you know, and not give up on the dreams that they have as well.
It definitely did. So I want to make sure I clear some things up because um the message that you were sending out, it wasn't Bible scriptures or anything like that. It was motivation. It was, you can do this
Right.
today and things like that. I want to make sure people understand so I don't get messages like, wait a minute.
Oh, no. It wasn't that. It wasn't a biblical message at all, because like I said, I'm a firm believer in God, but to be honest with you, I'm not a person that really goes to church. You know what I mean? I feel like that, like, I think that's an interpersonal relationship. You know what I mean? And that's just, I mean, that's my personal feeling about it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people say that God can use us however he chooses to use us. So, you know what I mean? And like, I've had different discussions with ministers and things along those lines. So I really kind of just take my own approach as far as my relationship with God and what he shows me in my life. You know what I mean? So I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really a person, an average churchgoer at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to share that for my people because
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
but
it was all positivity and motivation. It was about, you know, being able to chase your dreams, like not letting other people determine your wealth and your stability in life. Like you know, trying to cast out worrying about everything else that's going around you and then focus on yourself. Because I really believe, honestly, that we don't take the time. Like a lot of things, if we really focus on ourselves and getting to know ourselves better, you know, that you know, and loving ourselves more, then you have an outpouring of love, because like you actually loving yourself show other people how to love you.
And I completely agree. I get a lot of different DMs for different reasons or whatever, and normally I just delete them. But you know, I like the fact that we can preview information before we respond or before we delete.
Right.
So when I saw that you were sending positive information, I looked at it, and then, you know, when you did it again, I was like, wait a minute, this is really good because it's something, and I never told you, but it's something that I've done for years, especially being a
I
Jehovah's
mean, that's amazing. Like that's what I think. It's like, you know, like we were all designed not to be not to be independent, but we were designed to be interdependent. Like we were designed to depend on one another, you know, to help build each other up. You know what I mean? And like one of my biggest sayings in all of this is like, your success is never going to hinder mine. Like me helping you become successful is not going to hinder my success, because I'm only going to get out of life what I put into it. Like what I invest in, like what I invest, how I invest my time. You know what I mean? And it took me a long time to get there, to be able to get to that concept as well, like going through a whole lot of different life experiences myself.
And I'm always the person that brings the network to everyone. So if there's something good going on, I want you to have a piece of it. You know,
Right.
that's just who I am. And I haven't changed. And I want other people to see you actually grow from being that person. You know,
Man, so much.
we build each other up. So when you would send the messages, there were days and you didn't even know me, but I'm like, look, I'm tired. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
You didn't even know me, but you still had something positive to say. But it made me, you know, it's like, okay, I'm tired today. I'm tired tomorrow. Okay, it's time to get back up and rework, because I had my own things I was working on, and I put a mile of things on top of me because I'm like, this is who you need to be now, not yesterday.
Right.
Your
Right.
encouragement in saying you can do this, stay positive, it was really beneficial. So I just want you to know that. So if it was beneficial for me, you just never know who you touched and whose life you probably could have saved because maybe they wanted to take theirs. I wasn't there, but somebody.
Right. Right. And that was my thing. Like, you know, like and honestly, I used to get up, like I literally used to get up and just meditate and wonder, you know, like, and I can't lie to you, like some days it was really tough because like once you do it for a certain amount of days, and like I said, I was doing it every day, but like some days I was wondering where I would pull from, but I literally would just sit and meditate for a while. I would get up in the morning and I would meditate for probably like 20 or 30 minutes, just kind of sit in the room with darkness and quiet and wonder what I was going to say, you know, and I literally would just grab my phone and start typing. And sometimes like I would have such a long message that I would have to rework it to be able to even send it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I really got in depth with what I was talking about, because I just wanted people to know, like, you know, as I got older, I started realizing, like, you know, as you get older, you start realizing some of the things that you think that you care about so much, like they really become obsolete in your life. You know what I mean? And I as I was going through a trying time myself, I realized that, you know, it wasn't money, it wasn't possessions or anything like that. Is that time is really the true currency, because that's the only thing that we can never get back. Like I can make money, you know what I mean? I can spend money, but I can always go back and earn money. But wherever I spend my time, you know what I mean? Once that time is spent, it's gone. You know what I mean? So I felt like I had to start taking advantage, because we never know how much time that we have left. So in order for me to be able to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve, I had to start positioning myself and making those things happen. And, you know, because excuses only matter to the people that use it at the end of the day. And it's like when you learn to be self-accountable and hold yourself accountable, you start to be able to move and do more things. So a lot of those motivational things that I was coming out with, it actually helped me, even though I was sending the messages out to everybody else, because it began to say to myself, like, I can't be the one sending these messages out to everybody else and motivating them about doing what they need to do with their time. And I'm being wasteful with my own.
Yeah, it's actually rejuvenating, because, and I'm glad you said that, because it's a good reminder, because when you give so much of yourself to people, then you need that back. So you need that interchange of encouragement and that reminder that you can do it too. So that's a good reminder. I'll remind you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Because sometimes, you know, the people that is there, a lot of times the people that are there for everybody else never has anyone to really be there for them.
Yeah, trust me.
You know what I mean? So I appreciated it, like getting the messages back from you. That was amazing. And like I started getting so much feedback from so many different people. You know, and I even took it a step further. If you remember, I took it a step further and I started recording the messages like this, because it made it a little bit easier for me. But it was also me again trying to break another barrier of understanding where I was going with what I wanted to do in my own life, and realizing that, okay, at some point in time, you're going to be in front of a camera. At some point in time, you have to get used to talking to people in this way. So I started using the message in that way, to where I would still write it out in the morning, but I literally would basically sit my other phone right here as a teleprompter and read, you know, or I would sit here and just go over it as many times as I could, as if I was reading a script, to where I could present it to everybody via camera.
It's funny that you said that, because I recognize that. And that's why I invited you to come here, because I said, I know what I'm working on. So, you know, I can have a great conversation with people, but then when it comes to the public, I am an introvert. So that's why I'm doing this, to develop myself and make myself more comfortable. So it's so funny that you just said it, because I was like,
See, we help each other. We help each other a lot, and that's what it's all about. Like, you know, and that was the biggest thing that I was really trying to do. I wanted to be a person that fostered a community of people working together. Just like I said, I used to end it all the time. Hey, let's go win the day. Like that's what's most important. One day at a time. You know, regardless of what anybody has said to you, just know that you are loved. don't let anybody tell you that you're not enough, because you are enough, and you have the opportunity every day to start your day with something positive to win the day. You know what I mean? And that was the biggest thing to me. Like, because I really, I'm one of those people that deep down in the heart, like, I really want to see everybody win, especially, you know what I mean? My people, I want to see.
Hey, are you related to me or something like that?
We may be somewhere down the line, but I just,
father?
yeah, I tell my friends, I'm like, listen, I want to see y'all be successful, as just as successful as I am, because hey, when we get ready to go to dinner, I don't want to be the only one pulling out my checkbook to pay the bill. I want everybody to have money. I want everybody to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever I can do to help and aid in anybody's success, you know what I mean? If I can do it, if I have the capability of being able to help, then consider me being there. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just one of, like, that's always been how I am. You know what I mean? I feel like that's one of the things that have gotten me to the point that I am today.
I love that, because I am the exact same way. I don't want to see anyone lose. And I always pull out the potential in individuals.
Yes.
But it brings me to your songwriting. So if you put that much work into writing affirmations and sending messages to people that you don't even know, how much time does it take you to write a song? How much time did it?
Well, I would say this, I come up with concepts, but I actually have somebody that I write with. He's out of Atlanta, because honestly, I do a lot of recording of the music that I do in Atlanta. You know what I mean? We worked via internet, and of course, you know what I mean, social and all the technology that we have. And we send information back and forth. And like, the person that I work with, his name is Go-To Rights. When I tell you, he is phenomenal. He actually he's worked with Rodney Jerkins before. He actually, I don't know if you remember the show that used to come on after Empire, the show that was called Star, with the three females, why can't I think of her name right now? Queen Latifah, that was on the show. You know, Brandy was on the show as well. He actually used to do a lot of the songwriting for that show as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we get together. Like, I usually pick the music and come up with a part of the song, or I'll come up with like the cadence of the song and what I really want the song to be about if I'm stumbling on some writing parts. And I usually send it to him, like, after what I have, and he literally takes what I have, adds stuff to it. Does the arranges it, does the backgrounds and everything, and then, you know, we put a few songs together, and then I'll come down to Atlanta to record them. So, we share, like, we definitely share in a lot of the writing and things that we do. But it's like that's one part that I'm really grateful for, that I have somebody, because again, I came back into it after 20 years. You know, I knew that it was something that I wanted to do. That was probably one of the crutches that I had about not getting back into music for a long time. And I mean, just to tell you how amazing things work in my life, like, I literally met him on social media.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I met him on social media. And that's what I said, like, you know, when things, like, when you take steps to say that you're going to do something and you find your purpose and you start working in that way, giving it the time and the effort that you need to, you know what I mean? The universe just has a way of aligning certain things for you to continue to be prosperous in what you're doing. So I literally had never talked to him before in my life, saw him on Instagram. Like, I honestly, right now, I can't even remember how I stumbled across him. Like, but I stumbled across him on Instagram. I think he had posted something about him writing songs at the time. You know, he was doing like he was charging a fee for writing songs. And I thought, like, I looked at all of his work and I was like, man, this guy is really amazing. So I reached out to him. We started talking. Now we've built like an amazing relationship at this point in time. Like, we talk quite a bit now, you know what I mean? And I come down to Atlanta, go to the studio. He's in the studio with me recording. You know, I've also sent him some other artists to work with, you know what I mean? Because again, like, I want to see the people that I work with win. So it's not just about me. It's about, like, I honestly feel like in a lot of ways I can become the Jeff Bezos of music. You know what I mean? I feel like I can, put myself in certain relationships, you know, because the music industry is literally about building relationships. But because I want to see so many people win, Like, well, let me just say it from this standpoint, the music industry does have kind of a black cloud over it of being somewhat of, people doing shisty business.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
And
So
it
like,
happens for real. Let's not.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it definitely does, bad management contracts, bad label contracts, bad everything. But like my thing is that, and the biggest thing about this is, like I said, I wanted to do this. They always say like, or I always said it also, like, you always want to be the change that you want to see. Right. So I tell people this all the time. And when I come in contact in relationship with them, I said that I want to be the one person that when you look at the music industry, that you can say, hey, this guy right here is going to do business the right way. Like, I want them to say, I want them to mention my name in conversations because they know that doing business with me I'm going to be a joy to work with. I'm going to be, somebody that you can depend on. If I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to be there and if I'm supposed to be there at a certain time, I'm going to be there at that time, and I'm not going to be a hassle to work with, and that's something that I pride myself on. And that's probably because like I've literally come out of the corporate world after 20 years, you know what I mean? So I understand, business relationships, but I always wanted to be that person. So now if I can put you in a position to win and continue to make money when you're not even working with me at that point in time, like it just fosters a great relationship.
It does. It does. And that's good networking also.
Right.
Right. So with everything that you're saying, you know what it sounds like to me?
What's
It
that?
sounds like you should be developing your own record label.
Funny that you say that. That is something that I'm working on. That's something that I should say that I'm doing right now. I never had any plans on signing to any major label. I wanted to stay independent because I wanted to stay in full control of how I moved and how I worked, and eventually and like I said, even me getting back into the music industry myself, like again, I'm 48 years old. I never planned on being able to do this for the remainder of my life, but I wanted to get in to be able to nurture and foster the relationships that I could do so that I could eventually help other artists do the same thing. Again, like I was just saying, like, based on the relationships that I build, I feel like I can build an assembly line to be able to take other artists like straight through, being able to do it. But I felt like, and honestly, I tried it from a management standpoint. I've had other groups and everything that I've worked with, but and people always say, well, why are you doing this when you're literally the talent? And I was like, well, that's just not something that I thought that I was going to be doing. And I honestly started back again in the music industry by working with another group. And we have a great relationship, but we were working with someone that was in the music industry that was pretty heavy. And that person kind of walked away from what we were doing.
What?
So, yeah. So in that, the guys that I was working with, and this is just my personal feeling, I don't know if they felt like I really knew what was going on in the industry to be able to help move them forward, but they didn't really know the history that I had in the music industry and like some of the contacts that I had. So I was still trying to set them up with different things. And they were like, well, we don't know if we could do this. We don't know if we could do this. And I said, well, like, I'm beginning to think that you guys don't think that I understand what I'm doing. So here's what we're going to do. You guys continue to doing what you think is best. And I'm going to get back in the studio and start recording music. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I was trying to get you to do. And I said, yeah. And I said, in 6 to 8 months, we'll come back and look and see where you guys are. And we'll see where I am in that point.
Okay, now, KD, you talking first of all from the beginning until now. You're talking grown man stuff. So
yeah,
I love that. The thing is that you have a plan and you're not going to let anything get in your way. But I love the fact that you tried to bring these individuals along, and that's what people have to understand. So this is music, but it could be a totally different career path. no matter what, there are going to be obstacles. The
Right.
thing is that if you want it bad enough, you're going to overcome those obstacles.
Right.
And really, together, you guys would have benefited more if they would have just stuck with you. So, where are they now?
They're still in Atlanta, and like I said, they are still like the little brothers that I never had. You know what I mean? So we still talk, and I still help them in any way possible that I
You're
can right
so
now.
sweet. You are kind
You know
because
what I mean? I still help them in any way possible. I mean, but I understand it. It's like, I understood the situation. Like I understood that, excuse me, it was kind of a letdown to see somebody that was really, you know what I mean? Because like I honestly like we really did some powerful things in the 6 months that we had together. Like we were I mean everybody from Coach K from QC was coming to the studio with us. Like all of the major labels were coming around the studio, listening to their music. We actually flew down to Miami and met with LA Reid at Circle House Studios. Like, so they were really like, we were really getting ready to be, it was really getting ready to be a huge push behind them. But, the person that was really helping kind of just walked away from the situation. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a letdown in their minds that, all of the buzz that we had built in that time was going down. But I was trying to explain to them like, hey, like the only thing you guys got to do, like everybody in the city knows who you are. So now the only thing you guys have to do is get out and perform everywhere around the city, and your name is still going to be there. But I couldn't get them out the house for a little while. So I was
Mm,
like, okay, you guys don't think it's going to be that? I said, so I guess I'll show you exactly what I'm trying to get you guys to do. And so far, I've been very successful.
I'm proud of you because I've seen you do interviews.
Mhm.
So, do you have any performances coming up here recent, right now?
I'm actually working on one right now. I just got an offer to go and perform in Denver on April the 19th. And like I said, like I've been working so far with DJs in the background. And I'm actually on 2 FM radio stations in the Colorado area, in Denver, Colorado, and Colorado Springs. And I'm continuing to work, with more DJs I've been playing on quite a few internet radio stations in New Jersey and Florida, in the Bay Area in California. So, I'm just building the buzz of the song that I'm doing. And like most people would have already dropped more songs by now. But my thing was I'm kind of old school in my process. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to under promote one song and just have 4 or 5 songs out there that are under promoted. You know what I mean? So I want to try to get this first one in as many hands as I can, or to get it in as many areas as I can. But I also think a little bit different from an independent perspective. You know what I mean? Like I totally feel like for me to be successful in music, I don't have to be a superstar.
No, you don't have to be a superstar, but with your drive, you are a
Mhm.
superstar. So the thing is now getting those connections. So there are individuals. You're still in corporate though, right?
Yeah, I'm still in corporate America, but
Oh,
like I said, I've been severely blessed in many ways. I work from home every day, so I literally can take my laptop and work anywhere in the country every day. So that's one of the things where like I've been kind of blessed in that situation. Like, which is how I used to come down to Atlanta to record. I literally would just take a red eye flight out here, leave here like midnight, get to Atlanta at like 5 in the morning, go to my family's house to set up my computer, work for the day, and then go to the studio and record.
okay. So that is what our what month is this? It's going by so fast.
This is
April.
April. This is beginning of April.
Yeah, what our April goals are to get you in front of some of the Atlanta individuals, some of the Atlanta DJs, so
Yeah.
come out here and be promoted by them. I always mention Kenny Burns, and I mention him because I love B103, but I
Hmm.
also with my company that I work for, we're
Right.
connected with Ryan Cameron. So
Okay.
individuals like Ryan Cameron, and Greg Street is always for the people. So those are
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And oddly enough, I follow Greg Street on Twitter, and I think like honestly, like I've been having a lot of success with social media as well again, like Twitter, Instagram, and I actually before I released the song, I had the little 30-second video that I had put together that I was sending out that I continue to post every day. And I actually sent it to Greg Street and he retweeted it. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
he did retweet it. Like, so again, I don't know, like I try to follow up with him, but like my biggest thing is I don't want to be a pest to people to the
Oh,
point that they just
I'm a
get to,
pest.
you know
Hello.
what I mean? Like, do they get to the point like, geez, this guy is just always like every time in my inbox. And like, I honestly, like, I used to send them the message every day as well.
Oh, you did.
Yes, I sent it to Greg Street. I sent it to Kenny Burns. I sent it to, I sent it to quite a few people. I sent it to Killer Mike down there. And it's like, I have a lot of friends in the music industry down there. I was very super connected to the Young Bloods when I lived in Atlanta. Sean Paul and J-Bo, like they're rappers, but you know what I mean. They were a part of the Attic Crew, which was signed to. They were signed to LaFace at one point in time. They were signed to Jermaine Dupri over at So Def. So I have a few people that I have connections with down there. I just haven't. I hadn't gotten to a point where I felt like I needed to tap in with them as of yet. But now that I've been getting the traction and everything that I have right now, and like a part of it is I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to show people that I was willing to put in the work and not just call in favors to try to push myself to the forefront. Because a lot of times when you skip steps like that you end up having to backtrack because there's something that you lost in the process. So I really just been embracing the process of like really just putting in the work.
Oh, I love that you said that, because a part of when you first started sending those messages, that's where I was. I'm like, wait a minute, I have my degrees. Why am I not a billionaire? Are you kidding me? But I had stepped all the steps, I hadn't hit any of the steps yet. So I
Right.
love that you said that. A lot of what you say is really powerful. So it is important that you continue to share positive information like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I say be a pest. If I want something done, then
Right.
I'm going to, and it's the way that you ask too, because it is, for me, it has to be reciprocation. So I'm
Right.
not just asking for something, but in return, I want you to know that I appreciate you. So,
Right.
a way to do that too. So with some of these individuals working with their nonprofit organization, hey, I can come out here and do this, it's different ways to do it.
Right.
So,
Well, I will say that because I'm in the position that I'm in right now with the job that I have and the freedom that I have,
mhm,
I literally take that approach because I understand the like building the relationship. So I really like, even with some of the DJs that I've met and that I've come across, like my thing is, and I'm one of those people where if it can't be a situation where everybody in the situation can win, then it's not a win to me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I listen, not only yeah, there is something that I need help with you from, but my first thing is, okay, like, how can I help you? What can I do to help you first? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? What can I do like what can I do to provide value in myself? Like,
Mhm.
oh man, he's willing to come down here and hey, listen, if you got a spot open, I'll come down there and do it for free. You know what I mean? Because to me,
But
like
we're
me
not gonna
perform,
say that.
well, I mean, but in the case of me starting out right now with not a people, but it's a win-win though. I developed the relationship with the DJ or the person that's doing it. You
Mhm.
know, the part, and that's a win in us developing the relationship and the relationship being nurtured. Also, it allows me to get in front of fans that I've never met.
So in some situations,
Yeah, in some
don't
situations, like I mean, well,
mind it for
if
free,
it's
but
a
in
big,
other
yeah, if it's a situation like, but like I said, it's got to make sense as well.
situations.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not just gonna like be jumping around and doing everything like crazily, but you know what I mean. But like for situations like that, like to be, with a major radio personality, somebody that has major influence, like yeah, I would do that at no problem. At no problem. You know what I mean? Without, you know what I mean? Because I love Atlanta. I love coming down to Atlanta. You know what I mean? I could kill more than one bird with one stone. I could come down there and do a show, go to the studio and record more music. You know, again, meet fans that I haven't met, which could lead to even more fans the next time I came. So,
right. Okay.
but, and of course, building a relationship. So, because the music business is what a lot of people don't understand, it truly is the relationship business. It's what it is. It's not, you know, we all have seen people that we didn't think were as talented as they were, but they got into places that, you know, they excelled in the game because of the relationship they have built.
Yep, that's true. It's all about who you know, and then having that one hit. So when I think about here in Atlanta, there are some songs that we still sing. So I'm not from Atlanta, but I've been here longer than where I was born. You know,
Right.
So I'm here. You know,
Right.
But Nuck if you buck, I don't care.
Right.
Where we are, that is going to be our anthem.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is truly an Atlanta song.
Yeah, and I don't know how old that song is, but that one hit or working with that one individual. I was watching an interview, and it was one of the young new rappers, and he mentioned that he worked with somebody, you know, that has been in the game for a long time. That man heard his music, and they've been connected ever since then.
Right.
So you are absolutely correct when you say it's about relationships and taking it to the next level.
Yes,
So,
it is. Yes,
I know you live in Arizona. I know Arizona is a beautiful place, but this is your second home, so.
Well, Atlanta will always be my first home. Even though I'm here in Arizona, Atlanta has my heart, and it always will. So, you know what I mean? Like, if it, honestly, and I do say this, like, if it wasn't for my children being here, I probably would have moved back already.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I've been afforded to be able to. Yeah, I've been able to afford to make moves to come back and forth. You know what I mean, to Atlanta. Pretty much at my leisure. So, and I do love the city, you know what I mean? Although it's changed quite a bit from when I was growing up there, but you know what I mean? I think, you know, this is the new Atlanta. It's more of an international city now versus the old Atlanta.
Woo. Listen, I always stayed on the north side. So,
but yeah, I'm from the east side. I'm from the east side. Like, I literally grew up right off of Memorial Drive, like Warren Street is where I'm from in Kirkwood.
I used to go over there. I am crazy. So if, like I said, if I want something, I'm going to go get it.
Right.
There was a Jamaican spot that was over there, and it was the only one for like over 15 years. And I would drive all the way to Memorial Drive to go get it.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was. What's the name of it? But it's still up and running now. So I know the area. Of course, I have friends that live over there, and we do gatherings and things like that over there.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We do parties.
Oh yeah, get down. You got to. You know what I mean? Life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So yeah, you know what I mean. And that's good. That's good. I look at it as like that's good fellowship. You want to be around people that you love and care about, and be able to enjoy yourself. Because again, time is the true currency. We never know. We never know when our last days are coming. So like life is really meant to be enjoyed. You know what I mean?
That's so true. And but as you mentioned, there are some areas that have changed, like the Lenox Mall area.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's getting now. I would say Atlanta is getting a little bit crazy, but you know what I mean. I think that's I attribute a little bit of that to
the integration.
Yeah, the integration and just, you know what I mean, like, you know, the youthful spirit, I'll say, in Atlanta now.
Well, hopefully it gets better. Well, I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but hopefully it gets back to the way it was 20 years ago, where we didn't worry about the things we worried about when we were in Chicago and Illinois, you know.
Right.
So now those things are here.
Yeah, I think it's going to come back to the community. Like it's going to have to come back to people coming back together though at the end of the day, because that's one thing I can say about the old Atlanta. Like the old Atlanta, they fostered a community, like it was a community. You know what I mean? Because like, you know what I mean? And I don't, how do I say this? Well, you know, Atlanta is really like the Black Mecca in, but everything outside of Atlanta is not necessarily the same. So that made us kind of foster the community that of togetherness that we had in Atlanta. And if you think about Atlanta, like like I said, I was born and raised there. And I mean, 1973, I'm a Grady baby, I'm all of that, you know what I mean? And then I was really raised by my grandparents being there. So the community that the older Black community fostered there was very much a sense of togetherness because they were all that they had. You know what I mean? Like my mom was one that integrated a high school in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And if you really think like probably 2 generations from me, like my great grandmother, like her father was a slave. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And in that time, especially being raised by my grandparents, like they had a real sense of pride in, you know, in their Black community, and to show that, you know, like, of course, like, because we were treated as less than in that time, but they were more about showing culture. Like, you know, my grandmother was very heavily into that. Like you needed to know how the table was set. Like you needed to know everything. Like she was one of those people that believed in etiquette. Like when you walk out of the house, you're sharply dressed, you know what I mean? And that's just the type of community that they fostered back then. You know, but now in Atlanta, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it was just during that time because my mom's, I'm not sure where everybody else was. I know some people were from the Carolinas, but my mom's mom and somebody else on that side, somebody on my dad's side, those people were from like Mississippi, you know.
Right.
So they all it's a kind of, there are some mixed backgrounds, but then at the same time, my father's grandfather, his mother, I believe was a slave.
Right.
And they used to hide. He would tell us as he was older, he hid from the white men, you know, so they did do things a lot different. It was very different back then, but then the way that you wouldn't be able to tell, because with my grandmother on my father's side, the way you talk about setting the table, my
Right.
grandmother was prim and proper.
Yes.
But she
Yes.
was biracial. So I'm not really sure what her background was like, what her upbringing was, but you couldn't call her grandma, you had to call her grandmother, him
Right.
grandfather, you know, yes ma'am, no ma'am. It was different. And nowadays, these kids, you want to choke them, you know?
Right. They don't have the same, like as my grandmother would say, they don't have any home training.
They don't, because their parents are knocking if you buck.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, but you got to think now. I mean, now in this day and age, the grandmother is 40 years old.
Well, hey, don't judge because I'm
No. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, like in this day and time, you know what I mean? If you really look at how we look at life, I mean, they say now 40 is the new 30.
Yeah, but my
You know what I mean?
children that have kids, they are married, so they did things the way that I appreciate them doing.
Right, right.
So,
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it to be
but yeah,
like
I'm
to
in
say
my
anything
40s.
bad. I'm just saying, like, during the time, I'm saying the times have changed. You know what I mean? Because like we're not looked at in the same manner as it was. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the same struggles as our grandparents had it. Like, you know, my grandmother grew up in a time of, you know, like I said, my mom grew up integrating to high school. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have that same issue with me growing up in Atlanta. Like I didn't have to integrate a high school. Actually, my high school was all Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, my grandmother was in a time like, oddly enough, my grandmother went to school with Martin Luther King's sister. So she literally used to babysit Martin Luther King at times. You know what I mean? So she grew up in that era of, you know what I mean, the South.
Yeah. And I was grown when I really found out what, our history really was, because our family didn't talk about that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was
Right.
really weird. I came here and I was like, Ma, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah. It's different. It's different, but it's like that community at that time was so tight knit because they were all like, you know what I mean? Because they were so subjective to everything that was outside of their community. Like everything outside of the community didn't want to see them prosper. So it made them stick together. Like they had areas in the city where they only partied together, or it was only 2 or 3 churches. Like, so everybody was going to the same church, or, you know what I mean? They only had certain restaurants and things that they could go to. So everybody was at this place, or, you know what I mean? They only had certain areas that they could be in the city. So everybody was there. So it fostered, a more of a togetherness as a community.
Mm-hmm. And that's a learned behavior, not wanting to see others prosper, because
Right.
it did integrate into our community.
Right.
So it's really good that we have people like you that want to see others achieve their goals, and goals that they haven't even set yet. It's something that we can help them build.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that's the biggest thing in our community as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, like a lot of people say that we had the crabs in the barrel syndrome. You know what I mean? But crabs aren't meant to be in a barrel. Like, they really meant to be in the ocean, flowing freely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if we could, like, the biggest thing is like, when you look at us, look at our community as a whole, like, we have pretty much been able to conquer anything that we've really set out to do together.
Yeah, that's
You know
so
what I mean?
true.
Like, if you think about, basketball was not a Black sport when it started, but we've conquered that sport. We've gone into tennis. Like, anything that we have set our minds to, and that we get opened up and we gain the information that we didn't have prior to, we usually go into it and we excel. The only thing that we don't excel in as a community is sticking together, because we get upset at who the leader is, and why is that person the leader, and why are they telling everybody, why are they the person that has to tell all of us what to do. But if we're able to foster a good community, man, like, I honestly feel like we could take over the world. Like, we have if you listen to reports and the studies show that we have the highest spending power, but the Black dollar only stays in our community for six minutes.
As soon as people get paid, that's what I continue to hear, paycheck to paycheck, because as soon as they get paid, oh, it's a new outfit.
Right. We run into Louis Vuitton. We run into Gucci,
seafood.
and we run into
Where
everything.
Did that come from?
But
seafood and not soul food. Where did that come from?
Yeah, we're running to everything but us. You know what I mean? Because we've been given the stereotype that everything outside of us is better. But it's really like, but we are the ones that really have built this country on our back.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. That was the first thing that came to my mind when you said togetherness.
Yeah.
The first thing that Black people did together was escape slavery with Harriet Tubman, and probably individuals like her before that. And then for us to be able to break into corporate, and it's certain things I do not do, I will not do. I believe maybe about 3-4 years ago, I was told, why don't you be a admin assistant to get? Absolutely not. I'm not your assistant. So, like, just like I won't clean your house, I am not your assistant. So I think that we have to have, and that's not for everybody, but we have to have standards too. Things we will do for ourselves, things that are going to not benefit somebody else, but benefit ourselves.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of times too is like we think, and that's one of the things that I always say, even in my messages that I send out. A lot of times we think every situation has to be perfect for us, but in my mind, perfection is something that you can chase, but at the end of the day, there's no such thing as perfection, right? And in my mind, life is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's
Yeah.
about you progressing. It's about you becoming the best you. You know what I mean? I just want, like, my biggest thing is I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. You know what I mean? One day at a time. One day at a time. You know what I mean? Making progress about life and moving forward and trying to do everything I can to help, you know what I mean, help people and help build a legacy. You know what I mean? Like for all of us, if I can, you know what I mean? Like I honestly feel like I've been sitting here for sometimes to change the world. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm really willing to put that on my shoulders. And I think like what I'm doing in music is the first standard. You know what I mean? Because I felt like we needed to bring the love back to music.
Bring the love back to the world.
Exactly. But you know, music is such a thing that you're like, and I look at it from so many different aspects. Like music is such a thing that can program you because it's all programming. Like if you keep hearing fight, 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 if you keep hearing that continuously, then eventually that's what, like, and that's even with social media. Like if you remember before social media, you used to get the last, like you used to see somebody getting killed on the news and you used to be so shocked. Right? But now that you see it so much in social media, you're desensitized. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just pull up, oh yeah, they was just, oh, let me see you this. Like they just showed somebody getting shot. Like it's deep, it's not like, but where when I was growing up, you seen somebody getting killed, it was like, oh wow. Like it was just a moment, like it was almost like a fear of your own, like, oh, this really happens to people. Yeah. But now you see it all the time because it's desensitizing. It's television programming. You know what I mean? And I feel like music is something that can program you as well. I mean, if you think about it, and I listen to people say, oh, well, you're not programmed. Music doesn't program you. It doesn't matter what you listen to. You know, I literally got into a debate with somebody on this on social media. You know, it should be your parenting and this and that, and music doesn't help you learn anything. And the only question I asked them is, I said, well, if music doesn't help you learn, please explain to me how you learn your ABCs.
Right?
Because we learned it in a song.
Okay, we did. Every alphabet has
right.
A song, and
we learned it in a song. We learned it in a song. So music is something that if you listen to it continuously, if you listen to love songs, you're going to be more of a nurturer. You're going to be more of a person that wants to see love. If you listen to that type of music, you know what I mean? So the trick to me is to be able to do it over sounds that sound just like the music that you're hearing all of the fight from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you gotta give us more of your music. We need.
Oh yeah, definitely. I got a few songs right now that I'm working on. It's coming out of mixing and mastering right now. So we are going to be releasing. I am going to be releasing another song here shortly. But which again, it sticks to the same theme. Like even the song that I have now is more about, oh my goodness. You know what? I'm just not going to answer it this time. Maybe it just go away. Yes. Okay, cool. But like like it's more about like even with the song and the concept that we came up with, the song Questions, like I wanted it to be about, you know, like when I hear music now and how men talk to women, and it's just like, you know, even like, I mean, not to say that we didn't have bad music back in the day, you know what I mean, but like because we did, but the difference is now is you have so many more outlets, and now the music even on the radio has changed. Like we listen to more, like they talked about it, but it was more innuendo. Now it's just straightforward to the point. It's like, I want to do this to you, and I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, so I wanted to do something that a man could really talk to a woman, like as if like you really wanted to court a young lady, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the process of meeting a young lady, like the conversations that you all could have, you know what I mean? That's kind of like the general idea of what I'm looking at with the music that I'm making right now. I am going to be coming out with a project. I am calling the project right now The Return of the Gentleman, because that's what we need to see more of I feel like, and I think like once ladies hear the song, like they will love the words to it and what it means.
Mhm.
And then eventually, because the ladies love it, the fellas will come around.
Mhm. They don't have a choice. So when is that coming out? Because we need a summer anthem.
Well, Questions is out right now on all platforms. I released it on February 11th. I tried to do it right before Valentine's Day, just so it would be something for the lovers, or something for people that wanted to go out and possibly meet somebody for the first time, like, or you know what I mean. Like of course, a part of the song is, I love you like you're supposed to be loved. That's kind of what we're talking about. If you give me the time, I want to be that guy to show you love. To where would I be without you? Like, you know what I mean. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's basically what it's all about. Just it's about being in a relationship. It's like telling people, you know what I mean. Like, I would never leave you if they paid me. You know what I mean. I love you because you accept me for who I am. As long as you want to win together, like we can be together and we can tackle the world together. So that's pretty much, what the song is about. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great song from the moment that I heard it. I thought that the world would love it, and so far, the people that have listened to it have been giving me great feedback from it.
Yeah, I like your song. It's really, really good. Even the first couple of seconds, I was like, oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to play it?
Yeah, it's very possible. Let me see here.
And you don't have to play the whole thing, but just a little something.
I can give you a little bit of it. It's not a problem at all. Let me just make sure. I just want to make sure the volume and everything will be fine for you. Give me 1 second here. Luckily, I have everything right here. And you just tell me if this is too loud on your end.
Sounds good. Louder.
Without my baby, shit, that sounds so crazy. I couldn't ever leave you if they paid me, and I could always love you cause you paid me. All as I am, happy we made it more than friends. Long as you wanna win, don't you ever pretend. Tell me over again all your questions. Answer all of your questions. For you, I give you my blessings. There's not much more to say. Questions. Answer all of your questions. For you, I give you my blessings. There's nothing more to say. You're the only one I'm gonna make love to. I trust you. Time to be cool. I'm trying to be that guy. If you just give me the time, I love to trust you. Time to be cool. If you just give me the
that's a little sneak peek of it.
That's super hot. It's hot. It's nice. It's really nice. It's so smooth. And mellow. It does remind you of a nice date night. I'm not gonna say here in Georgia, it don't remind me.
Right.
But when you are in Chicago, it's something about when I'm coming back home into Georgia, it's something about our lights. But it doesn't give me date night, it gives me party. But in Chicago is romantic.
Right.
And everyone goes to the lakefront.
Right.
And even the day before not New Year's, but the 4th of July, we would go to the Taste of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of music we would listen to in front of the stage.
Right.
Yeah, it gives me, that's crazy you from here, but it gives me such a Midwest vibe. I love it. It also reminds me of Virginia. So the people in Virginia need to get this, because Virginia's slogan is Virginia is for lovers.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, you got to play a show there.
Oh
But
yeah, definitely. I've actually lived in Virginia before I moved here.
I love
So yeah, I lived in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. So I got a lot of people out there as well. So hopefully that'll be one of the places that I really do hit. But yeah, I mean that was my thing. Like even with me making music, I wanted to do something that a lot of people, when you think about music, like you have to really be intentional in what you make. So when I thought about, my thing is like I wanted to be the music that I make to be something that I felt could stand the test of time. So it's not really any catchy slogans or anything like that would just be right now. Like, I wanted to make what I call forever music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's something that you can play in any era at any time. It's something that you can listen to at a cookout with your family members. Like, you know what I mean? It has a demographic from, young to old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where most people pick out a demographic. Okay, I want to, do music for the 18 to 25 or the 18 to 25. Like for me, like I'm looking at I wanted to have a broader scope of music. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be able that young people will understand and help them to understand about love, but it'll be something that you can still listen to with your mom and your grandparents at the same time, or you can play it at the cookout, that was something that was what I saw when I started getting back into making music. And
please reprogram these people.
That's what I'm trying to do. Look, hey, one person at a time, one song at a time, one song at a time. But actually, I'm gonna do something that I haven't done just because this interview is like my first interview. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of another song that of the other song that I'm getting ready to release right now.
Okay, which one is that? Is that the one that should be the anthem for women for the summer?
Well, this one I would say is more or less about it's about a guy's interaction, meeting a young lady for the first time, and them having somewhat of a conversation. But where women tend to see men as being a little bit pushy or anything, like in especially in this day and age, but it's more or less about interaction of them meeting for the first time, him basically saying like, it's no pressure at all, but I thought you were a nice person. Like, it's funny that we can have this conversation and you seem just like the person that is the right person for me. You know what I mean? But it just really depends on how you think about it as well. So, and it's kind of an ode to girls though, because it's me telling her that I think you're a 10.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Because I think somewhere in the Alicia Keys, and I'm gonna say I like Alicia Keys, but somewhere in her era of coming into music, women started courting men instead of men, and that's a grandma word. That's something my grandma would have said.
Yeah, well, that would be a whole nother podcast for us when we start talking about that.
No, but
the situation with men and women.
Your song kind of it turns the table the way that, because that's the way it's supposed to be. A man is supposed to come to a woman. Right. So I like that you're turning that back around and saying, hey, no, we got this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of it, and it has a little bit. I feel like it has a summer vibe myself.
Okay.
A lot of people that I've listened to this song on the side are really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is something that we are looking to do, and let me see. And I feel like it has a little bit of a summer vibe. It's called Tens.
It sounds good.
Let's start playing games. Want your girl for real? All I need is one shot and I'ma shoot the kill. You got me feeling your smile and your sex appeal. I threw a couple of shots, but you were close to deal. Go and tell your friends you'll be back in a second. Tell them I really like the best friends. And if they got questions, I'll answer them. Cause I don't
want to force anything that's not real.
I like
but
that.
it feels like you feel how I feel. How could you be more than my type? It's like you know just what I like. Can't even blame it on all of the drinks. And if you ask me now and later what you rate, get on this. Tens all around, let me know if you're really down. Oh, yeah. 10 toes down, looking at you, baby, get tens all
Yeah, so that's a sneak
All
peek.
right, I like that.
Yeah, that's a sneak peek of that one too. You know what I mean? So, but that's what it says. It's like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put any pressure on you at all. You know what I mean? Part of the words is, how could you be more than my type? It's like, just what I like. You know what I mean? Can't even blame it on all of the drinks. But if you ask me now or later what you rank, you get all tens.
Ooh, that's hot. That's hot.
Yeah. So.
And your guy here in Atlanta, he came up with the beat.
Yeah, well, no, I choose all of my own music myself. I choose all of my own music. So I work with a various number of producers, and I like, honestly, some of these beats that I have right now, I've had for a few years, but I hadn't just decided how I was going to work it out. But it's like, again, once I took the step to say, okay, I'm finally coming back and I'm finally doing this, everything started falling into place. Like, this is one of the songs, like, I really sent him, like we had talked about it. I wrote the first verse of the song. I sang it. I sent it to him. He came up with the hook and the structure of the song. We put it together. I went down and recorded it. And right now, and that was just a rough draft of it. Right now, it's actually getting mixed and mastered right now. So it'll probably sound 10 times better once it comes out of mixing and mastering.
But you're not going to change the words at all.
No, right? No. It's just, just the sound and how. Okay. Like, everything is like fitting in the background, making sure that you hear every little thing the way it's supposed to be heard.
I like the acoustics in the back though.
Mm-hmm.
The way it beats and then it gives that echo. I really like it because you don't hear that a lot. Most of the time people are, and I know you're supposed to sing over the music, but yours kind of blends. So make sure kind of, all right, you bringing me back to my music, but make sure you keep that part of it because it keeps that 90s feel or effect that we want. Yeah, you like giving like Jodeci
right. And that's really the feel that I was looking for, like, because I honestly feel like, you know what I mean? Although we have all of these great musicians, and Stevie Wonder, I love those guys. But to me, honestly, the best era in music was the 90s.
It was.
I honestly feel like that because you got such a mix. Because even though I was born in the 70s, I love the 90s. I was, a part of when it was like right around that time when hip hop and R&B began to merge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it was like, because even in that time, the music that we were pulling from in that merger was the music from the 60s and 70s. So it was the one that brought all of it together for your parents to be able to, like, it brought families together. It was like, okay, I'm listening to hip hop, but they're using samples from the 70s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know what I mean? So your family, like, even though you were listening to this song in a hip hop version, your family was able to go back and play for you the old school version where you knew where the sample was coming from and listen to their music. Or, of course, our family was having parties and they were spinning the old records anyway. So you knew, you know what I mean? You knew those songs
right
as you were growing up.
Right. No, yeah, I like that. That you give that old school feel, but at the same time, you're not reusing. Because sometimes we can get caught up. I think there was a time period at some point, like before we end, if your babies are there, they can come in and say hello.
Oh no, they're not. They're not here today. They're not
Oh.
here. They're with their mom right now, so they're cool. I'm just home alone.
Okay. I was just gonna say if you wanted to, but sometimes we can get caught up in reusing or rebranding somebody else's music,
Right.
and it can become tiresome. We want to hear something fresh, not and I like James Brown, but not an old James Brown song with somebody else's words on top of it. So what you're doing is nice, it's fresh, but still giving us that nostalgic feel.
Right. And that was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of give an old school feel on somewhat of new school music. You know what I mean? But not so new school that I sound like everybody that's out right now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't sound like anybody that's out right now. So that's
right.
really,
and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to carve my own lane. Like I listened to like I've even come up with this own moniker of mine now about the music that I make, where R&B is really rhythm and blues. I just kind of call mine rhythm and grooves, because I usually am the music that I choose is more of a smooth bass line driven, to where, you know what I mean? Like I like to choose music that I feel as if that I can have that live instrumentation feel when I get ready to do something live. I could have a live band, that could play the music and even make it sound a lot fresher than it even sounds right now.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good. You're doing a really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have one more question.
Okay.
So I know you are putting your music out like in singles, but will they also be able to be purchased on an album form? Or
yes, I am going to make an album eventually. My thing with that is because I did this single because honestly, it's probably, as a solo artist, this is the first thing the song that I put out in February is the first song I've ever put out in my life. So I wanted to, part of it was understanding how everything works. Of course, with the DSPs, like you really can't really get into updating a lot of your information until you at least have one song out. You know what I mean? But eventually, my plan really is to be able to even walk away from the DSPs. Eventually I want to have it set up to where you'll be able to purchase it from my own website, you know what I mean, as being an independent artist, like, because like the way that the music industry works right now with how they, like, it's really weird because you really don't, like, my song could get spun 1 million times right now and I would only make $2,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the biggest thing is I want to get to a point, like, and really I'm not using the DSPs right now. It's not really a thing of making money for me. It's more being able to spread the word that I'm doing music, that I can help build a fan base and get the analytics that they offer from finding out, where the music is really hot in different areas, to where, I can set up doing shows in those areas, because I know that if I'm like, let's say for instance, if my song is being played a lot in Atlanta, it's going to show me how many listeners, how many people are there. If it's 3,000 or 4,000 people that continue to play the music, well, now I know Atlanta is probably one of the first places I want to come do a show, because I'm showing that I have 4,000 or 5,000 fans that are there that really enjoy my music already.
Well,
so
this has to be one of the places you come do a show.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely, as I continue to build the analytics and continue to do it. But that's one of the reasons why it's been great for me, because I'm working with DJs in the background. And although I don't show a lot of analytics right now, I can tell that I'm going to be able to be positioned in a few places, because the DJs are already calling me from those areas and saying, hey, like, they're really loving your song here. They're doing this, they're doing that. And where, like, most people in this situation would have spent, I mean, like, even just trying to get the FM radio, like I've heard people tell you the horror stories of how much money did it cost to get, your songs played on FM radio. But when you have like some of the DJs that I've even been talking to are actually program directors of the radio stations.
Yeah, I sent your what you sent me, the
Mhm.
snippet. I sent it to a couple of people, and it's even small radio stations, you
Right.
that is difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's very difficult for that. But but a lot of them want to know, like, now that I have the song in long form, if they get it, like, because I have everything registered the way that it's supposed to be registered, they'll be able to go in and pull it up now and do it. And like I said, that was something that, without even having a team and just going through and gaining the knowledge of what needed to be done and how it needed to be done, like, was something that I set up in the beginning. So, like, a lot of people don't understand that your songs have to be coded correctly for them to even be played on radio, unless they're played on, like, a hit it or diss it show or something like that, or like maybe somebody comes in on a late night and plays it. But because they have to, like, each song has to be registered through your PRO, your performing rights organization, so that they know how many times that song has been played.
Mhm.
So, there's a lot of little inner workings that you have to do. But luckily, I like I said, I've been able to get played on, I've been getting played on some iHeart stations, a few FM stations right now. So, the buzz is gradually building. It's only been out now for about 2 months. And I really haven't spent a lot of money marketing or promoting the song, which is what I'm getting ready to start doing now.
Which is good. You're doing a lot of the back work without having a team. I volunteer myself to be a part of your team.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know much about all of that good stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, so I did try to put a panel of people together, artists together, to do a
Mhm.
show for. The guys didn't work well together, so it didn't
Really?
work out. Yeah, but hey,
Or let me know. We can probably talk behind the scenes, because, like I said, I know a few people in Atlanta. I know a few people down there that definitely will be willing to help. I just haven't really reached out to them. And I know, like, and that's something that I really want to do too. Like, I like, it's been coming to me a lot, but I think I wanted to have, honestly, I think I wanted to have a team, really my team consisting of African American women. You know what I
wow.
mean? That was something that I really wanted as far as my team is concerned, because I know how vital a woman is to a man's thinking process, because, like, women are so much more detail oriented than men are. Like, and I know, like, I understand my own shortcomings, I guess I could say, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can come up with the crazy ideas, but uh, a female is going to think about the things that you don't think about, because they're so detail oriented in every space.
And we're nurturers, so we're protecting you.
Right, exactly. And that's what I feel like I would want to be around me, people that will have my best interests at heart and that are protectors by nature. Because in that, with me being the person that I am, is that I'm always going to be overprotective of them as well.
But you can't say that you don't want any men on there. So
I know I can't. No, I mean, I can say that because I pretty much could be able to do what I wanted to do.
you sound like
But it
me.
doesn't mean that I mean, it doesn't mean that I won't have other people that will help with the situation. But I'm saying, like, the people that are closest to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just of the thought process and how you think and how detail oriented women are. You know what I mean? Like, that's an important aspect to me that I would want, because I understand it from that standpoint, like, as building a model of the business that I would want to be. And then sometimes, there's some things, like, women can get in certain situations that men can't.
Oh, we can get in everything y'all can.
Right, exactly. So, you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean? It's just like, for me, like, and I just feel comfortable. I feel comfortable sometimes working more with women than I do with the guys, because
Yeah.
you never know. You know what I mean? You never know where their train of thought is, what they're trying to do, like, you know what I mean, and how things move. So
I understand. Just like I would want a guy to be my security. So
exactly. But like from a business perspective, if you find a woman that's great in business and understanding the concept, and they can take what you're doing and like, because I'm not like I'm a visionary to a certain extent, but like you're not gonna be finding me putting up vision boards and this and doing that and like and having that detail oriented part of it. Like a lot of the things that I do, like it's just embedded in my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also like, even like when I started this process, I had females that would help me. I literally would just have them come in with their computer, and I literally would just like, I would tell them like, I'm just gonna dump my brain on you right now as to everything that I'm doing. And they literally would sit there and type it up, ask me different questions as I was downloading my brain, and literally would email me a checklist of all the things that I needed to do. And that was when I say that was the best process for me to be able to work and move around, you know what I mean? So it just helped me. It's like, okay, did you get this done? Did you get this? You wanted to have this done by this date. You wanted to do this. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Like everything was just coming together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you need a team. You need a staff.
Yeah. So that was how, like, that's how I got to the point that I'm at right now. So, you know what I mean? Like, so every once in a while, like once a week, I would just download my brain and be like, okay, this is what you have to get done by next week. You know, you got 2 weeks out on this, you got this. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got it.
And then something else you can do too, utilize your children.
Yeah. Well, I utilize them for the music, believe it or not, because like I kind of test the music on them, like, and see how they like the music. And like my kids know every one of my songs. Like by all the words to it, you know what I mean? Already,
yeah.
You know, they get excited about the process.
Yeah, you know, put them to work, because when everything comes around, they're gonna want some of that fame. They're gonna want.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Life. So yeah, you put in the work too, and plus, every other background does it.
Right.
We need to do it more. Bring our kids into our world so that they understand them a little bit more, and it develops them into whatever they want to do. So
right. Well, I mean but they truly are the reason why I'm doing this, because I want to be able to leave a legacy for them. You know, one thing about ownership of a business and my music, you know, if it gets to the point where there's great radio play and things along that nature, like they'll forever be able to benefit from that, you know what I mean, monetarily. Not only that, and there's one other thing that I haven't shared with you, but if you notice this shirt that I'm wearing right now.
I wanted to ask you, what is that? Because you always wear shirts like that.
Yeah, this is it's kind of a branding thing. Like I literally took my middle name and my oldest son's middle name, because he's a junior, of course, and my youngest son's middle name, and created our own clothing line. It's called Emery Wayne. It's going to be coming soon as well. We're going through it, and that's part of the reason why you see me wearing the shirt all the time. You saw me wearing it in every video, and I actually started getting people to ask me about it. But we're kind of in the quality control phase right now, because I got a few things that we're doing. We have ladies wear, ladies workout gear right now. I'm working on the website for it right now that I'll be able to post soon. But t-shirts, guys, sweatsuits, shorts for guys, short sets for ladies, jogging suits for ladies. So we're really we're working towards that right now.
That's amazing. So last week I did an interview with my daughter, who she does embroidery.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so a lot of I'm like, do I want to get up? But so a lot of my gear, Sweetlemon, she does it for me. So
that's amazing. Like you already got an insider going in for you right now.
But the difference is, you know how you said you'll do things for free. I pay my kids.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely.
So, like, she's not doing it for free for me. So I'm like, okay, can I have, but I have to also wait in line, because she has a business. Just because I'm her mom, I get to go to the front. So,
but I always think that that's what we should do as a community anyway. Like, if you really and truly support somebody, like, don't look for a discount in it. Like, pay what it's worth. Right. Like, and that's one thing that I loved. This is one thing that I absolutely loved about the city of Atlanta and the music scene. Like when I was growing up in Atlanta and your friends were artists and they were putting out music, like when the Young Bloods was putting out music and they were my friends, like we all went and bought 10 copies of the CD just to show support for our friends. Like I didn't want a homeboy discount. I didn't want you to give me anything. Like the way you show true support is to pay the price that it is. It's like, and everybody wins in that situation. Like I don't want it. Like I don't like you. What do I look like if you just started a business and I want you to give me 5 free t-shirts right off the top? Like you ain't even sold a t-shirt yet. It's like you haven't even made the money back that you spent and somebody already wants you to give them something for free. And I'm like, man, like where does this come? Like my oldest son has his own clothing line. It's called Never Off Work. And I literally bought the very first shirt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Way. I paid to get my hair done. So like, of course, everybody in our family does something different. I'm paying you to do my hair. I'm paying for you to do my clothes. Anything I do, I want to pay you because I want, and I started telling my nieces and my daughters, you know, this, because I want you to see that your work is appreciated. And if I pay for it, everybody else better pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things that we're doing. So you know, but once you start working and you get everything done, like if you want, and like if you choose to do something, hey, I want to send you this for free or whatever. I mean, that should be your choice. It's like, we always, everybody wants something for nothing.
If I'm testing something out on this platform, then send it to me for free, because I'm not going to test and review for free.
Right.
But so it's a win-win situation. But if I want something that's different, like I can't go to Mercedes and say, hey, give me that new video.
Exactly. Well, like, I mean, if it's a situation where it's a beneficial to both people, like for somebody that has a far reach or for somebody that has, a lot of followers that people follow them, of course I would send them gear and have them wear my shirt because that's going to expose me to more people and they can tell them where they got it from and people can come and shop and you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It has to be a win-win situation. Like I said, if it's not a win for everybody, is it really a win?
Right. I love that. So we have to start thinking about who you're going to send stuff to, little items like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Things like that. I want to ask, because I don't want to continue to keep you. I've kept you for a long time.
I told you I blocked off time, so you got me for as long as you need me right now.
Okay. Well, we can we can finish up here and then but where can people purchase your music? Because we need to know that. People need to know where they can go find those songs.
Right now it's on all platforms. So wherever you listen to music, if you listen to it on Spotify, if you listen on Apple Music, if you listen on Tidal, you can go and download it there. That's where right now it's on all music platforms. It's on TikTok, it's on Instagram, it's on all of the different platforms right now. So however you download or listen to music currently, you can get the music there right now. But like, as I said, like soon as we get to a certain point where we have enough people knowing about music, like what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do what Jay-Z did with Tidal. Like Jay-Z literally pulled all his music off of all of the other platforms and had it on his own platform. So eventually that's what I'm going to be building myself, like building my website to where it's going to be very interactive and you'll be able to come and get a lot of information. Of course, I want to build it to where I can get email addresses and things like that. And I'll be able to allow, the fans that really follow me to be able to get information from there, about upcoming shows and things that I'm going to be doing. But that's where I am. And like I said before, my approach to the music game is going to be different. Like, I don't feel like I just need a few true fans where we are living in a world where we have billions of people. It doesn't take a lot for you to be big in music.
Yeah.
Can
we see your what the front of the the
shirt.
CD case looks like?
The front of the CD case, I don't have the CD case, but if you give me 1 second, I do have some information that I can show you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, and here is what the single looks like. And I'm actually, what I'll probably do is I'll probably get your address as well, because I'll send you some of these things, and I'll probably post this as well, because what I've done is I've actually gotten my music on a QR code right now, where you can actually scan it with your phone, and however you listen to music, you'll be able to pull it up. So this is what the actual cover looks like for the song. The single is called Questions, and of course, you know, when I release a new song, it'll be new pictures and everything. But if you notice on the back, I have a QR code.
So they can scan that, right?
Yeah, you literally can scan that with your phone, and it'll bring you to a link tree where however you listen to music, be it on YouTube, Apple, Napster, whatever, however you listen to music normally, you'll be able to scroll down and click that, and you'll be able to pull up music however you listen to it.
Yes, I wanted to make sure that we got that. And then inside of the description of this video, I'll make sure that I add your links on there.
Okay, no problem at all. And what I'll do is I'll send you the Linktree link as well, because there's a link to it, and then that way they'll just be able to click on that link, and like however they listen to music, they'll be able to pull it up. And I thank you for all of the listeners in advance. I thank you for just helping me achieve my dream by listening to the music. I really, really appreciate it. I really like to show as much gratitude to the fans as possible, because they really are, hopefully the influence that I have on them is one of the biggest reasons that I do it, outside of, you know, me building something and me teaching my kids that working hard is the best way to get anything done that you need to get done. So,
yes.
But yeah, so definitely, and tell them I'm a person that I'm not gonna be crazy. Like, I love the fans. I want to take pictures with you all. I want to do all of those good things. I want to be one of those artists that's very personable. I want everybody to understand that I'm just a regular person that's just chasing his dream at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for superstardom. I still want to be able to go to the grocery store with my family and everything like that. So, you know what I mean? I want to be a personable person that that you can reach out to. And hopefully, you know what I mean, as we continue to grow, we'll be able to do more things in the community and communities around the country. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's one of the biggest things that I want to do. I want to be able to help people. This is all about, you know, me putting myself in a position to be able to help others.
I love that. And by your example, you're showing other people that they can do it.
Exactly.
So everybody go download Questions. I love Spotify. So
yes, I am on Spotify. Yes, help me run up the numbers on Spotify, on Apple Music. Again, I really, really appreciate it. Questions is out everywhere right now. You know, add it to your playlist, send it to your friends, save it, download it. You know, your mom can listen to it, your grandparents, your kids, everybody. I made it all user-friendly. You know, like, you know, there's no bad version of the song. It's a whole clean version. Like most of the music that I make is that way. So, you know, you don't have to worry about hearing a different version somewhere else.
I love it. Thank you, KD. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. And anytime that you want to do this again, I'm more than open to do it. Whatever topics that you want to talk about, I'm here for you.
Thank you. I'll definitely have you back.
Okay, thank you so much.
Maybe in person next time. We'll see.
Just let me know. If I come into the city, I'll definitely contact you. Even if you want to come by, we just, you know, chew the fat about different topics that's going on in the world. I'm definitely game to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you all have a great day. And remember, you can do whatever you put your mind to.